users. Joining me right now is the Attorney General of Indiana, Todd Rokita. AG Rokita, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I want to get your take on what is going on at TikTok and your investigation. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Well, listen, we got to remember that TikTok now is the world's largest app. It eclipses Google, even though it's banned in countries like India, and it's restricted in its home country of China. It's still getting more hits than anything else, so it's taking a lot of our data. We don't know what it's doing with it. And then to our kids, we've opened up an investigation, so have other attorneys general, to look into the intent, right? So we all have Deceptive Consumer Sales Practices Acts in our states, and they basically protect consumers, us, from the bait and switch. You're saying your product does one thing, but it's really doing another. Well, we're going to find out whether or not the Chinese, and by definition, if you're a Chinese company, then the CCP is a part of it, is intentionally grooming our children, because 1/3 of TikTok users, Maria, are between 10 and 19 years old. If they're grooming our kids to get hooked on porn, drugs, alcohol, because the burner phones that we set up certainly indicate that they're trying to do that.
Well, I mean, it's just extraordinary. I mean, TikTok is a Chinese-owned company. So tell me more about the China element here. I mean, what do we have so far? The Chinese Communist Party hid and downplayed the threat of COVID. They covered up the origins. The CCP has been stealing intellectual property for decades. The CCP has been creating fentanyl and pushing fentanyl into America. It's already been linked to 100,000 deaths in America, and now TikTok. What can you connect the dots here?
Yeah, well, it's a pattern of bad behavior. You and I were at the border where we basically saw the fentanyl coming through, and knowing that it was being made in China. We see them bad actors in so many other areas, and now the question is, are they poisoning our own children? Look, they limit their own kids to 40 minutes a day on TikTok, and they're spreading this garbage out around the world. And look, it's not like it's being solicited. These sex ads, these drug ads, this alcohol. It's getting forced. As soon as you open an account, it gets forced fed to you. So just like Maria, the world is banding together to fight against Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Maybe the world needs to get together and start fighting China's aggression through its apps and some other things it's doing.
Well, I'd like to see that, since we know that the CCP's main goal is to overtake the United States as the next biggest superpower. But Joe Biden and his administration aren't doing anything about it. He has still not raised the origins of COVID-19 to Xi Jinping, as far as I know. I haven't seen any evidence of it. But AG Rokita, I want to ask you about the impact on kids, because we were at the border together a few weeks ago, and what we saw at that border are getaway cars that kids are becoming the getaway cars for the illegal migrants, and they're luring these kids to be the getaway cars on TikTok. And I know that this is part of the investigation looking into this, but I saw pictures on TikTok of stacks of money where they're saying, I've got 7 heads at the border. We need somebody to drive them to Houston. These kids want to make $1,000 a head. They're making 10 grand a day. They don't even have a driver's license.
Yes. And then you see video footage of them racing police the wrong way down streets, crashing into telephone poles, hurting innocent people. It's absolutely horrible, and TikTok is helping do all this. Maria, Kathy and I are parents of a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, Teddy and Ryan. It's hard enough. Think about the parents here. It's hard enough raising your kids in this kind of environment with all these negative impacts as they're growing up. And now we have possibly a whole state government, the government of China, working against us. And we're gonna work to stop it. They have a U.S. subsidiary, so they can be held accountable here a lot more easier. And Maria, don't forget, President Trump, for national security reasons, tried to ban TikTok here, And Joe Biden and the Democrats, working against parents and the military and everyone else, has rolled that ban back to let TikTok flourish.
Yeah. So who hears this case then?
Well, it's an investigation. We're going to go where the facts take us. But
okay.
Based on some of the stuff we've seen so far, we see definite evidence of grooming children, possible intent to focus on children, and there will go into lawsuits. There's other states who have banned together in different ways. So we're going to attack this from multiple angles, and you've seen us be successful in that approach before.
Yes, we have. And AG, we'll be watching all of this. I had the opportunity to speak to many families and parents about the impact of social media. AG Todd Rokita, thanks for joining us.